ship devices, consumables, and reagents internationally, and they want them all to arrive at the same time. This is really challenging as the consumables might need to remain between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, the reagents frozen on dry ice, and the medical device at ambient temperatures. Carriers such as FedEx and UPS typically cannot accommodate this type of request. They don't necessarily have facilities that can store something at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius while it's awaiting customs release, and they can't always replenish the dry ice if it gets hung up in customs. What would we do for our clients is we'd arrange to ship via passenger and cargo airlines. We use our overseas partners to make final delivery. Our partners are able to replenish the dry ice, place the consumables in a cooler, and store the device while awaiting customs release. After the shipment is released by customs, our agent is able to deliver everything at the same time. So if you're working with the FedEx and UPS and you're finding that you're having some issues with a situation like that, you can work with a shipping partner that can ship to the airlines, has partners overseas that can maintain the temperature that's required, and then also deliver everything at the same time if needed. One thing that's really important, it might be the most important when shipping temperature-sensitive material, is using the correct shipper. We always suggest using a validated shipper. A validated shipper has gone through a certain amount of testing to ensure that temperature can be maintained for the stated duration, provided the correct refrigerant is used. When shipping with dry ice, remember that dry ice dissipates an average of 7.5 pounds per day. If you're unsure how much dry ice to use, we always suggest to use more. You better be safe, than sorry. So FedEx and UPS, I mentioned this, they both also accept cold and frozen shipments. If your shipments are delayed in customs, they often do not have the appropriate cold storage or ability to add dry ice, so that's something to keep in mind. Using a shipping partner that can ship via the passenger airlines with a network of partners that can ensure your shipments are maintained at the required temperature is really important. Many startups begin by shipping small amounts of consumables to their clients on a regular basis. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is more cost effective to ship in bulk, provided the recipient can store the material at the temperature that's required. If you're shipping consumables and a device separately to your customer, you want to make sure the consignee has the appropriate storage to maintain the temperature. If they don't and the reagents arrive before the device, then the reagents won't be viable if they don't have the appropriate storage. And as you expand globally, you want to make sure you're working with a shipping partner that understands the ever-changing customs rules and regulations for each country. As previously stated, that's really confusing and complicated, and they do change often, which makes it even more difficult to ship internationally.
Some of our clients are shipping customized reagents. Those are obviously very expensive. Reproducing that is quite challenging. So using the validated shippers, as Chris mentioned, is really important. The other thing that you might want to talk to your freight carrier about is, if you're shipping these customized reagents overseas, is understanding what paperwork is required prior to shipping. There's various certificates and all kinds of paperwork that various countries require. So you certainly want to know that up front rather than when it hits customs, so that even if they were able to replenish it, you're not paying that charge for replenishment until paperwork is completed. So you want to really plan in advance on what's required from that particular country based on your specific material.
A number of clients that we work with, when they ship reagents, the reagent itself may only have a value of, say, $10 because it's being used for laboratory testing purposes and research. But they may have spent $1.5 million with their contracting manufacturing company to actually come up and establish and manufacture that reagent. So while the reagent itself is less expensive, a lot of money went into getting that reagent. Some of the things that we do, and you can talk to your shipping partner about it, is actually request that a GPS tracking device is used. We offer that. A lot of cases, our clients will request that for really high value shipments. Again, it may not have a real high value monetary value, but all the money and the time and the energy and the research that went into it makes it a super important package to keep track of.